Hi everybody, we're here to talk about Adventures by Disney Costa Rica. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about what our itinerary is. I want to talk about the itinerary and some of the details of it and who this trip might be great for, and just tell you a little bit more about it so you know what's coming when we start showing you pictures in a couple weeks. So the first thing I wanted to mention about Costa Rica is that this Adventures by Disney itinerary has a minimum age of 4 years old, and it is recommended for age 8 and up. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about your family or who you might want to be traveling with. In addition to that, I want to show you just a map of where this adventure goes. So it starts over here in San Jose, which is where you would fly into, which is sort of in central Costa Rica. It's going to head across the country. Our second hotel is here. And then it's going to end on the coast on this end. This is by the city of Aguada Canasta, I think is the region. But this is also by the nearest airport here is Liberia. So you would most likely want to fly into San Jose and fly out of Liberia. If you can't get flights out of Liberia that work for you, there is an option if you get late enough flights to come back to San Jose to fly home. So I just want to tell you a little bit about this itinerary. It is 6 nights, 7 days, and you start by flying into San Jose. So when you fly into San Jose, the first hotel is going to be the Costa Rica Marriott Hotel in San Jose. You are going to be greeted by guides from Adventures by Disney when you get to the airport. They'll help you with your luggage and get you to the hotel. The first night is a free night, so you can enjoy the hotel, you can enjoy the pool there, get settled. Explore the area and the hotel if you want, and the dinner is on your own that first night. The hotel does have dining options, so you can talk to an adventure guide about a tip if you want to go out and see more of San Jose, or if you want to just eat at the hotel, eat poolside, have a drink, relax, have vacation, you can totally do that. So that's a great way to kind of get the trip started. So the next day, we're going to be switching hotels. So we're going to be heading to the Arenal Chiaro Hotel. And this is by the Arenal National Park and where the volcano is. So all we need to do first thing in the morning is get our luggage outside because Adventures by Disney will be taking care of the pickup of that. Breakfast is included, so we're going to have our breakfast. And then we'll be taken by motor coach to our first adventure, which is the whitewater rafting on the Sarapiquí River. I'm hopefully going to get all these names right. So that's our first adventure, is that whitewater rafting after breakfast. So I'll show you a picture of what that might look like. These are class 1 to class 3 rapids. So that's what that is going to look like. If this is not your style and you're not sure you want to do whitewater rafting, they do have an alternate option, which is a float boat. So you'll be going down the river in a calmer section and having a quieter floating experience. So if that rapids is not your thing, you can do that. After that, we're going to have a private lunch on the side of the river, which looks really awesome in a private area. And then we're going to be heading to our hotel at the Arenal Chiaro Suites and Spa. So that hotel is so beautiful. Some of the pictures I've seen, I mean, you can see the volcano there. So currently it's just, it's calm. It's just kind of smoking, I guess. But that hotel just looks really gorgeous. So once we get there, we'll have time to relax, enjoy the hotel a little bit, maybe swim, get unpacked and get settled. And then that night we're going to have a welcome dinner. So this is going to be the big official welcome dinner that kicks off the trip. And that'll be hosted by the adventure guide. So the next day, we are still staying at the same hotel, but we are going to be heading to the Cono Negro Wildlife Refuge guided tour. So this adventure is going to take us down the Rio Frio, which is Spanish for the cold river, where we're going to see a lot of the rainforest and the flora and fauna of the rainforest, as well as the animals. So they say to keep an eye out for monkeys, sloths, many species of birds, bats, crocodiles, lizards, and many more. And I think the picture about that, I'll show you, is this guy. So this will be our tour. We'll be looking for some monkeys and some other exciting things as we go through that. So that's going to be super fun. We'll spend the morning doing that. And then in the afternoon, we're having a riverside lunch hosted by the hacienda in Caño Negro. They're going to take care of the lunch, and then they're going to take us back by boat to the hotel. Then we have the evening to relax at the hotel, and then we have a dinner included at the hotel that will be hosted by our adventure guide. So the next day, we start off with a group breakfast again. And like you can see, many of the meals are included, so there's not a lot of extra things you'll have to do. But the next morning, we're going to have breakfast together at the hotel, and then we're going to go on a sky trek. So this is a sky tram that goes over the jungle or over the rainforest in a gondola, so you get to see it from a different perspective. It also takes you up to the top, and the most fun way to come down is our zipline adventure, which I'm super excited about. My family did ziplining in Honduras a couple years ago, and it was a blast. So I'm super looking forward to this ziplining adventure. So obviously you get harnessed up and you take these zip lines back down. If the zip line is not your thing and you're not sure you want to do that, there's an alternate opportunity for a guided nature walk. It's available as an alternate activity. So that's another option if zip lining is not your thing. But I will be zip lining, and I hope to have my GoPro, and I will be able to show you that, I hope. If not, you can go to our YouTube channel. I do have videos posted of us zip lining in Honduras, which is mostly the sound of the zip line and me screaming. So, but it was a blast. So we'll have lunch on our own, and so they can help us with that. There'll be some options right there that we can grab some lunch. And then we're going to be taken away to the hot springs. This sounds really interesting. I don't think I've ever done anything like this before. So these are natural springs that are heated by the Arenal volcano. And so you can sit there and soak, and it's like mineral water pools. And I don't know, that sounds really awesome and relaxing to me. So that's our afternoon before we head back to a private dinner at the hot springs from a local rustic restaurant. So a lot of these, some of these meals are hosted by the hotels, and some of the lunches and the dinners are hosted by local restaurants or brought in. So you're really going to get that opportunity to taste local cuisine, local fruit, just like the culture of the area. So you're not necessarily going to Costa Rica and having burgers and french fries like you could have here. So I think that's exciting, and I think it's a great way to really experience the country that you're going to be visiting. So the next day we are transitioning to our third hotel, which is El Mangrove. So that morning we'll be putting our luggage outside again, and Disney will be handling that while we're at breakfast. So we have a breakfast there at the hotel that we're already at, the Hotel Arenal Chiaro. And on our way to the coast, where our next hotel is, we're going to be taking a chocolate rainforest tour. So we're going to see more about the cocoa trees in their natural environment and learn more about cocoa. And it does say it's a hands-on experience. I hope it's a taste-on experience, because I want to eat chocolate in the rainforest where it's grown. I think that would be awesome. So we'll find out more about what that turns out to be. But anyway, the morning is going to be a chocolate rainforest tour. Then we're going to have lunch there overlooking the Corobici River. So that sounds like a gorgeous venue to be having lunch in. And then we'll be heading to the El Mangrove Hotel, which is in Aguada Canasta, which is on the coast of Costa Rica. So this is our third location of the trip. So once we get there, there'll be time to get settled in and maybe go to the pool or explore, or go to the beach a little. But at that point, we're going to do where we split up, which this does happen about once every trip, where there's a special activity for the adults and a special activity for the junior adventurers. The junior adventurers are typically the kids under a certain age, but sometimes the junior adventurers are older. So if it's something that you really want to do and you're not 8, you can go with the junior adventurers. So that is an option. But anyway, usually one time during the trip they do something special for the adults and something special for the kids. So for the adults, we're going on a private guaro sour making excursion, I guess, where we're going to be learning how to make these signature cocktails of Costa Rica using their local liquors. So that sounds awesome. And then we're going to be having a private adult dinner as well. So it's at the hotel restaurant, and they boast local fresh cuisine. So that's going to be our adult only dinner. While we're doing all of that, the junior adventurers are going to be having a very kid-friendly dinner, and they're going to be watching a Disney movie at the hotel. So they are going to have that adventure as well. So then day 6, we're on already. I feel like sad. I feel like our trip is ending. It hasn't even started yet. But when we get to day 6, that's our last full day on our adventure, and we'll be in the Aguada Canasta region. So we'll be along the coastline of Costa Rica on the Pacific Ocean side. And that day, we're going to have breakfast at the hotel included, and then we are going to head out on a catamaran excursion. So our group will be out on the catamaran. They'll have private snacks for us. You'll be able to snorkel, explore the water, swim, sleep, rest, whatever you want to do on the catamaran adventure. I'm super excited because I haven't been to the Pacific Ocean a whole lot, so I'm excited to snorkel out there and see just a different perspective from Caribbean snorkeling. So I think that'll be really interesting. And then we're going to have lunch beachside. That sounds perfect. And then after that, we'll have some free time on the beach. So whether we want to take in the sun, we want to go back and swim in the ocean, explore more, take a nap, whatever. It is vacation, so there's some beach time there. And then we're going to have our farewell dinner. So Disney always does something really special the last night of the adventure, because at this point, you've spent all this time with this really small group of people doing so many interesting things, and you've done, you know, taken adventures, and maybe somebody was scared ziplining and it was their first time and everyone cheered them on, and you know, you overcame the rapids together, and so you've bonded. I mean, this has become a group experience, and so now you have this farewell dinner, and it's I've always heard that it's just a very moving and special time for everyone to kind of exchange information and say goodbye. And Disney does some special touches, which I don't want to give everything away, but really help make this really a special last experience together as the group. So they'll have the final dinner at the hotel there. There'll be some entertainment and local folk dancing and things like that, just local things from the area to finalize the trip. And then the last day, we will be getting up, breakfast is provided, and then we'll be heading back to the airport. So everybody will have their pickup times and assignments and where they're going. So we are flying out of Liberia, so that way it is very close to where we're ending the trip. So we'll be heading back to the airport there. If you had to fly home from San Jose, you could do that. I believe there was a specific time your flight had to be after. I would say like 5 p.m. But of course, if you were booking that, we would know for sure what those options are, and then they would drive you back across the country to San Jose. And then you also have the option of adding time before and after the trip. So with this trip in San Jose, we had our arrival, and the next morning we left that city. So if you wanted to spend more time in that city, adding a pre-night would be awesome. For us, it's about a 1-hour time difference once we get down there, so we don't have a lot to adjust to. But if you're taking this adventure and you're coming from California or Pacific time, where you're having a several-hour time change, or if you're coming from, you know, Europe or something like that, then you might want to add a day at the beginning so that you have plenty of travel time, and then you have time to adjust to the time schedule before the adventure starts. So that way you're not starting with jet lag and whatnot. But one of the reasons I think Costa Rica is a great adventure to choose for our U.S.-based clients is because it really isn't that bad a flight. It's not that far, and you don't have as much of a time change. So I found direct flights out of Philadelphia for a great price. There are other, actually no, we're flying out of Baltimore, but there are also great flights out of Philly, but you can find them from many of the U.S. cities. So, you know, as going on an international adventure, if it's something that you want to try, Europe might seem too far to start with. I think that Costa Rica is a really great trip because it starts out being a little closer to home without as much of a time difference. The other great thing about Costa Rica is it's a really fun adventure. I think for preteens and you know, anybody in the appropriate age range, which is really 8 and up. I know the minimum age is 4, but their recommended age is 8. And from my experience, that recommended age is really very smart, what they put there. So I try to go by that. But for age 8 and up, this is truly a super fun adventure. They're going to be occupied, and they're going to just have so much fun and experience things that are just really unique and really fun. And I feel like it would be a great first international adventure for kids. Europe is awesome. There's so many amazing things there, but there's a lot of culture and things that if it's their first adventure, unless that's something that already interests them, they may not understand as much. But I feel like everything happening on this adventure between the zip lining and the whitewater rafting and the rainforest and stuff are all things that the kids would really, really love and jump right into. So I think this is a great first adventure for families. I think this is a great way to start understanding the Adventures by Disney product, and you know, it's just a great entry point. So that is how our trip ends, and I'm so sad, but then I have to remember we didn't actually go yet, so we get to do it for real. And we'll be posting videos and daily information, so while we're on the adventure. So if you're following our page, you'll be able to see it. This is just one more picture. This is like a double spread of zip lining through the rainforest. I just think it's so amazing. It's just going to be such a great trip. So if you have any questions about Adventures by Disney, if you have a particular destination in mind that you've always wanted to take your family, whether it's Alaska or Costa Rica or the Galapagos Islands or Italy or Australia, or you've always wanted to do an African safari, there's so many choices with Adventures by Disney, and we would love to help you find the right itinerary for your family. And there, don't forget, there are domestic itineraries. So if you're looking to go to the Grand Canyon, Alaska obviously is domestic as well, but you're looking for some of those guided adventures within the U.S., we have those options. And we also have riverboat options. So there are 4 riverboat options. There's on the Rhine, the Seine, the Rhone, and the Danube. And that's with AMA Waterways, where Disney has taken over the whole boat. So it is a fully like Disney experience with AMA Waterways. So those are amazing river cruise options. And then they have an overlay with Disney Cruise Line in Europe. So you can do a Disney cruise. Not everybody's on the adventure. Everyone's on the ship. But then there's a small group of adventurers on that Disney cruise, and Disney's taking care of them with the adventure guides for all their excursions, their onboarding, offboarding, and all that stuff. So that can really take, if you're looking at doing a European cruise with Disney, it's usually the Magic that's in Europe, and they do the Mediterranean, and they do Northern Europe. And we actually have an agent going to Northern Europe, so you're going to be seeing that coming down the pike too. But you can overlay those with an adventure, so that way you have all the awesomeness of Disney Cruise Line, and then you have all the awesomeness of Adventures by Disney combined into the ultimate vacation. And then to top it off, you have the option of adding a pre-night excursion. They do a short escape, they call it, with Adventures by Disney. That's like 2 or 3 nights before the cruise. So that way you kind of have this little activity, a couple of days to see that starting city that you know, aren't really spending a lot of time in if you're just going straight to the ship. So having a little bit of time at the beginning to see that opening city and spending it with your fellow adventurers that you're going to be spending your cruise with is a great way to get to know everybody and kind of have that little pre-start. And then when you get on board the cruise ship, you are ready to go. You know your guides, you know some of the people that you're adventuring with, and then you have this amazing cruise combined with Adventures by Disney for the ultimate vacation. So we would love to help you with any of that. As you know, we don't ever charge you any additional fees to do any of this, but you have our service and our expertise and our experience to make your trip as awesome and as memorable as possible. So that's what's going on with our Costa Rica adventure. We'll be back next week, and we're going to talk about some packing tips for Costa Rica, and then we'll be on our way. So we hope you keep following us, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.